one thing I discovered along the way is that several speakers up here have talked about happiness.
And then when they go in,
They're silver and they turn one to silver.
The first of what the makers of Star Wars hope will be thousands of queues started forming at 7 a.m.
We're talking Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Because at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday morning, the first official showing of The Return of the Jedi rolls onto the big screen.
Happiness is pleasure, and happiness is joy. You know, it can be either one. You add them up and it sort of falls under the uber category of happiness. Pleasure is short-lived. It lasts an hour, lasts a minute, lasts a month, and it peaks and then goes down.
Finally, the wait is over. The fantasy unfolds.
It peaks very high. But the next time you want to get that same peak, you have to do it twice as much, no matter what it is, whether you're shopping, whether you're, engaged in any other kind of pleasure, that all has the same quality about it. On the other hand is joy, and joy is the thing that doesn't go as high as pleasure in terms of your emotional reaction, but it stays with you. Joy is something you can recall. Pleasure you can't. So the secret is that even though it's not as intense as the pleasure, the joy will last you a lot longer. And people who get the pleasure, they keep saying, well, if I can just get richer and get more cars, you'll never relive the moment you got your first car.
Do you think this is going to be as big as Star Wars?
Bigger! Bigger!
And yet a lot of the critics are panning it.
Well, what do they know?
If you're trying to sustain that level of peak pleasure, you're doomed. It's a very American idea, but it just can't happen. You just let it go. Peak, great. Pleasure is fun. It's great, but you can't keep it going forever. Just accept the fact that it's here and it's gone. And maybe again it'll come back and you'll get to do it again. Joy lasts forever. Pleasure is purely self-centered. It's all about your pleasure. It's about you. It's a selfish, self-centered emotion that's created by a self-centered motive of greed. Joy is compassion. Joy is giving yourself to somebody else or something else. And it's a kind of thing that is, in its subtlety and lowness, much more powerful than pleasure. You get hung up on pleasure, you're doomed. If you pursue joy, you will find everlasting happiness.